Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this special broadcast. We call it the Rangers Rundown to give you an idea what you can find on the Rangers Review website. I'm Derek Clark, as ever. I'm joined by Joshua Barry, who'll talk us through some of the big topics we've got on the site today. And before we do that, just a reminder, if you haven't already done so, we've got a great offer on the website just now. It's just £1 for 2 months worth of content. It really is a cracking deal. We're covering Rangers that no other in no other way that anyone else is doing at the moment in the media. So I'd urge you to go and check it out, rangersreview.co.uk/subscribe. Today's big topic is focused all about on goals at the moment, and the lack of goals as far as Rangers are concerned. And to talk us through some of the pieces that we have on the website is young Joshua. So Joshua, fire away.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you say, Derek, this is a new little a feature, I guess, that we're doing for people to a lot of people watch live with us in the morning, and hopefully we'll want to do the same in the afternoon or catch up at another time. But the idea being that we can take you through some of the content on our site and explain what it is, give you a flavour for it. As you mentioned at the top of the show, Derek, the subscriptions is what makes the Rangers Review possible, to cover the club in a different way. And only £1 at the moment for the next 2 months, a fantastic offer. So just to give you a taster of a few things on the site at the moment and what's coming up as well. Start off with the man who isn't here, the boss man, Johnny. And the point that he's making today is, look, Rangers draws recently have been concerning, but the reason they've been concerning is because they're not scoring goals. Sorry, not draws. The slender victories, we'll call them, Derek. And the main point he's making is the goals that were in the squad last season from players aside from James Tavernier and Alfredo Morelos, and Rangers obviously evolved to a place whereby they weren't as reliant on Morelos and Tavernier last season compared to previous seasons, in particular Morelos. Yanis Hadji and Kemar Roofe, I've mentioned this stat a few times. They have 9 goals and assists between them this season, Derek. Last season they had 34. That's a significant drop-off. And basically across the board, Ryan Kent had 18 goals and assists last season. This season he has 5. Across the board, Rangers haven't hit numbers, and that's the big difference. And we'll get on to that in a minute. But that's the kind of the overarching theme, if you like, of why Rangers are where they are at the moment. So, yeah, the first piece that just to highlight is an excellent piece, as ever, by Johnny, that highlights that. It talks about where the Rangers need more from Alfredo Morelos, and goes into really good detail about that, using some more of our past networks from our partners at StatsBomb. And that leads me on ever so nicely into something I wrote at the end of last week, Derek, which was about the under and over performance. So as everyone will know, we like to use our numbers at the Rangers Review, and we try and break it down simply and kind of give a clearer picture of what's happening on the pitch and understand why. And what I was really interested to do, Derek, was look at how are Rangers performing in front of goal and how does that compare to last season. And actually, if you look at this graph, and as I say, you can look at this in more detail if you go and read the piece over on the site, rangersreview.co.uk, Rangers are creating better quality chances per 90 compared to last season. And they're conceding basically the exact same amount of chances compared to last season. So it's not a case of, look, Rangers just can't break teams down. It's a case of Rangers are being able to create these opportunities, but their goals per game are down, which again fits in with this narrative of what we're speaking about, perhaps a lack of goal scorers in the first team. And just the last thing before I hand back over to you for a minute, Derek, is I want to look at these two graphs, and they might look a bit busy at the start, but there's 2 key numbers I want to look at. In the top here, you see expected goals, 67.47. Now, that's based on the quality of chances that Rangers created in their Invincible League campaign. They'd have been expected to score 67 goals. They scored 85, which is an overperformance of almost 20. There's lots of reasons to do with that, you know, whether it be clinical finishing, poor goalkeeping, it could be any number of things. But that's quite a significant overperformance. And if you look at the goals that they conceded, they were expected to concede 26, and they only conceded 12, 13 if you include one penalty, which, as we know, was largely owing to Al McGregor's spectacular season. And just finally, if you look at this season, to this point, obviously this isn't a direct comparison because the season's not finished, but Rangers have been expected to score 56 goals, and they've only scored 53. So as I've just been speaking about per game, the goals per down, Rangers are creating good chances, but whether it be that they don't have the likes of Roofe and Hadji, who were getting good numbers last season in the starting 11, they aren't getting the same amount of goals. And at the other end of the pitch, expected goals 20 against, and they've conceded 22. So there's a bit of a reversion to the mean, Derek, but the real issue seems to be here. Look, Rangers had these goal scorers in the front line, specifically Kemar Roofe last season. This season, he's not really been there, and I think you felt the effects of that in some games in particular.
Yeah. As Joshua said there, folks, we can see that the illustrations from StatsBomb, it really is top class stuff that we use on the Rangers review site, so we can pinpoint where the issues lie scientifically in black and white there, or in numerous colours that we see there on the diagram on the screen. It really is fantastic content on the website. Just now, as I mentioned, that terrific deal, just £1 for 2 months worth of content such as that. We've also got other pieces on the website. Joshua, don't we, that go into great detail. Can you fire us on to the next piece that you want to share with our audience? I know that many of you are tuning in, so it's great to have your company as ever, and some of the comments, of course, coming in as well, talking about how Rangers are just not performing as well as they should do in front of goal. But yeah, Joshua, fire away.
Yeah, so I'll just quickly as well, while I remember, say what that headline is. So if you want to get this piece, you just go into the tactics section of the website, Rangers underperformance revealed, and that will give you a far more detailed and nuanced breakdown of where Rangers are going wrong. It looks at over and under performance, and I won't go into that at the moment, Derek, but let me just say that is a bit of a worrying stat for me, looking at how many players overperformed last season compared to this. What this takes us on to is something that's actually going to be coming tomorrow on the Rangers review, and it's looking at Kemar Roofe. And this is an article that I wrote a few months ago, and it was when Van Bronckhorst was playing with two high and wide wingers. And the argument was, where does Roofe fit into this? Roofe was brought in to play within Gerrard's 4-3-2-1, did so very successfully. And obviously coming off the bench at the weekend, Derek, I think that showed... Firstly, it showed the type of goal that no one else in that squad scores, in my opinion, that kind of poacher goal. And you can see that with Roofe's numbers here. So from his expected goals of 10.18 last season, he scored 14. So that's quite a significant overperformance. But you also look at his shot location. And the goals are the ones that have a slightly thicker border around them.
Yeah.
He's just a poacher. And the great benefit that Roofe brought from Gerrard is he can do work outside the box. He can receive the ball out the box and sprint into the box and score. He can offer you an additional number 9 threat. So think back to the goal he scored, the second goal in the 4-1 win over Celtic towards the end of last season, where he receives the ball outside the area, spins off, plays it out wide, and then joins in. The goal up at Ross County in a 4-0 win where he can join Alfredo Morelos in the front line. And I think it's that flexibility which made Roofe so, I guess, imperative to breaking teams down, because in refined spaces he can find space, and score goals as detailed here. So if you want to read that, that's a little bit further down in the site. It's Rangers Conundrum. Where does Kemar Roofe fit in Giovanni Van Bronckhorst 4-3-3? And what we'll be doing tomorrow, Derek, is looking at, well, since it's altered and evolved slightly in the last few weeks, is there a place now for Kemar Roofe to maybe play the role that Scott Arfield's been playing recently, where you can receive the ball out the box, but still crucially join in. And what Roofe gives you that no one else in that squad gives you necessarily, I think, is guaranteed goals. He's a fantastic finisher. And as I say, I've been looking at that today and looking forward to having that on the website tomorrow. So again, £1, go and read all of this. If you enjoy the podcast that we do every morning, the subscribers is a huge part of that. So we just urge people to go and check that out, Derek.
Yeah, definitely. Another piece that was on the website today, folks, is from our scouting writer, Patrick Caskey. Now, the detail that he delivers on these players, Joshua, is quite incredible. He's done a piece on a Moroccan winger, currently plies his trade in Egypt, I believe, at the moment. But some of the detail that he provides as to why he would be a perfect fit for Rangers is quite something else. And he's profiled a number of different players over the last few months in different regions and countries that Rangers should perhaps be shopping in as well. So that there's that side of things as well. It's not just picking out a name out of thin air, Joshua, and saying, this boy's good. It's actually forensic analysis into these players.
Yeah, absolutely. Patrick's excellent. We were delighted to get him to write weekly for us recently, and I think this is one of the great things about what we do over on the site is it's something different. It's not just going and linking players that are, a 30-year-old out of contract from England. It's going and scouting different markets. I think Patrick has a real track record of writing about players that have then went on and been signed by clubs. He knows about so many footballers. I don't know how he has all that time to watch football. There are
Yeah.
times. But it's one of the areas that we cover, as you say. We cover tactical analysis, scouting, data analysis. You have your excellent big interviews every single week. We have opinion pieces, features, and a podcast every day. And we're trying to do something different and hopefully doing it relatively successfully. Because I think, from my point of view, in terms of looking at, the goal scoring issue, it's easy to just go and say, Rangers aren't performing in front of goal. I think what supporters really want, and increasingly football viewers want to understand as the why, and I think that's what we enjoy doing at the Rangers Review, is looking at the details behind it and the nuances behind it. So yeah, absolutely. Patrick's excellent, your stuff's excellent, and as we say, up until Wednesday there is this deal where you can sign up for £1 for 2 months. Head over, see if you like it, read the pieces that we've highlighted today. We'll have the Roof piece out with some other content tomorrow, and you can expect content like that every single day of the week.
Yeah, before we go, there was a fantastic question popped in by CGM55, Joshua. If Joshua has some free time on his hands, what I'd really like to see is what the points totals of Rangers and Celtic this season would be if VAR was introduced. I'm not too sure if I have the technology for that, pardon the pun, but that was certainly something to get your teeth stuck into. Certainly it's a topic that's not going away, VAR in Scottish football, that's for sure. Okay, folks, that'll do us there. Just a little explainer video this afternoon. I'm sure we'll be doing more of these going forward as well. As Joshua mentioned, that deal we've got on expires on Wednesday, so not much time to take advantage of it. Just £1 for 2 months worth of content. It really is a sensational deal. Just head over to rangersreview.co.uk/subscribe to take advantage of that. Okay, enjoy the rest of your Monday afternoon and evening, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning for your daily briefing.